everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I wanted to just take a few minutes and share with you guys some of the things that I got when I was thrifting for craft supplies while I was down in Florida. So I'm going to show you what I picked up. I didn't get a huge haul or anything, and then I got a request after the 15-minute craft challenge this week to show you guys how I would then use these circle belly bands or embellishments in a project. So I thought we'll play with them and I'll give you a few ideas and maybe even make something on the fly with some of my new finds. So that's what we're going to do today. Just have a little fun together, and I hope you'll stick around and enjoy. So my husband and I love to go into all the little antique and vintage thrift stores and places like that. Well, he acts like he does. He's always up for it, so we'll see. But we look around and look at things, and I get some craft supplies. So you can probably already tell I could not resist this jar of buttons. I see there's a bell in there, but I think it's primarily buttons. Some look older than others. And I'm just really excited. I always love to add to my button collection, and it's $6. I thought this was a good find. So more buttons for us to play with. Let's see. And then I haven't even taken this out. This looks like it's going to be like paper. But it was $1. And I thought, well, I can definitely give this, I guess we're just going to tear that. Give this some life and have some fun with it. So let's see what we've got. Oh boy, they didn't want the packaging to come off in that thrift store. So there we go. Okay. Yes. So they're in rolls. Obviously, this one was perhaps going to be used. It has this fabulous crinkle to it. All right. So this looks like different shades of green. Let me just get it rolled back up. There's one with some hearts on it. Do you guys like the sound of crinkly paper? I don't know why I do, but I do. Okay. So it looks like it will fan open. These are not, my normal colors, so I'm going to play with this one for a second. Yeah, you can kind of flatten it out or leave it. It's almost like little tiny accordion folds in there. Oh, it's fun. Can probably ink these and change up the color some too. This one's really pretty. Okay, we'll have fun with this. I'll have to come up with a project, or we'll just use it for some fun embellishing. This is the bag my items came in, but I'll probably use that and find something. Okay, and I found these, it was just these two little Easter cards. I don't know how vintagey they are. It says Culver City, California Punch Studio. But I just thought the bunnies are the ones that I could see, and I like that. But look at these envelopes. Aren't they beautiful? They feel good too. So two little Easter cards that I can turn into something. And then, I don't know why, but this alligator book, again, it was $1. It was half off. It's marked as $2. Just really jumped out at me. It's St. Petersburg, Florida. Trying to see if there's a date. Let's see. Printed in the United States of America. Great Outdoor Publishing Company. There we go. 1962. Yeah. So there we are. Anyway, my brother loved, he still does, I guess, but loves alligators. And we were growing up in Florida. He was always very interested in one of our funny family stories. My mom's sister, my Aunt Susan, who's still living, took her kids, who are a little younger than my brother and my cousins, Jason and Marcy, and Joe and I, my brother, swimming at Lake Okeechobee. And we were there and having a picnic and swimming in the lake, and an alligator was spotted. And so my Aunt Susan, and we were little, you know, Joe was maybe 6 or 7. He was the oldest. So she's scooping us all up and trying to get us to the car to get away from the alligator. And Joe's not wanting to come. And Jason, who was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5, he was like, have you ever seen an alligator before? And Joe turned around and said, I have, but not in its natural habitat. And, you know, for these little kids, and my Aunt Susan loves to tell that story. But he likes snakes and anything, any kind of like animal, fish in the water, that kind of thing. Anyway, so the paper is just awesome, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may give it to him, or I may make something out of it, but I couldn't help. The paper's wonderful, and it just screamed, take me home. So I have an alligator book. All right, what else? There was this little bin. They didn't let me keep the bin, so I just threw it in this Tupperware, but of little supplies. And some of these look like things that I had back in the day in my craft supplies, but these, in fact, I think I have some flowers. They're just different colors that are similar to this in my stash somewhere. But they come apart, and you can layer them. So how pretty are those? Some Zots. They still feel sticky. A brand new box. Some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And I hope they're still sticky. But even if they're not, I'll just add some glue to them. And some buttons. And some hardware. Again, things that I have had back in the day, and may even still have similar items, but exciting. A thing of ribbon. Looks like velvety rickrack. Let's see. Some little vintage tags. Baker's twine and pinks. And some green, what are those? Brads. So that's what was in my little grab bag that I got. And that was kind of fun looking at that. So yeah, it was just, you know, I look for good deals. I look for things that I think, you know, yeah, I would use that. And yeah, it was just fun. It was a fun time. Sometimes I find some great like little golden books, which I have a huge collection. I don't need any more little golden books, but they're hard to resist when you find good ones. But, you know, this time we only went a couple of places, and I think I scored some fun finds. So I'm going to just set these aside for a minute. Like I said, maybe we'll get to use some of them. I also wanted to show you guys something else that I'm working on. So far I have 2 pages. This one has 9 little birds that are fussy cuts. And I did another page, and they're a little smaller. You can see the size of the bird. I've already cut them out. There's 12 on this page. And I've been putting them on circles, kind of following my circle theme, and starting to make clusters. I love that one. And I'm excited how they're turning out. But one of the questions I have for you guys is, would you like to see just like a 2-page or a small kit in my Etsy shop of just like some fussy cut birds, or would you rather that I incorporate them like into a larger full kit with, you know, pages and background pages and other ephemera? So let me know what you think. I think these little birds have a lot of potential. They're not hard to cut out because they have that little border. And anyway, I'm excited to play more with them. I just started, you know, with the test prints and thinking it through. So let me know what you guys think. Would you like a full kind of nature bird, some kind of kit, or do you think just having the fussy cuts would be fun to put with other papers, right? So things to think about, all the things to think about. Like these little birds I think would be so cute with my new Easter Friends papers. I think they would coordinate well. So, all right, so that's something else I've been working on that I wanted to show you guys, and we may play with those. All right, so I made this journal, or I did something with this journal, and decided I wanted to use one of these kind of scrappy pad clusters as the cover. Not everybody, but whoever wanted to voted, left a comment, and it was kind of the grown-up adult chickens or the baby chicks. Baby chicks won, so baby chicks got to be the front of the journal, and I haven't really gone back and worked much yet in this journal, but I want to. So I thought it would be a good one for some of these birds, but a good one to talk a little bit about the belly bands, right? So the most straightforward thing that I do with them, and I think they look fabulous, and I love them on my pages, is to just go, you know, to any page that you want one, and you can put it right in the middle. I can add glue here and here and make it a belly band, so that then you have a nice tuck spot, right? Something that can slide under there. So that's one option, okay? Another option, a lot of people said, you know, they're just great page edgers, right? Just borders for your pages. And you don't have to have one on every page, of course, but you know, you just get to that page and you have this nice edger, and then you can journal and write. So that's another idea and a way to use them. The same with the clusters, right? Just put them in the corner, add them to a tag, decorate a pocket with them, whatever you like. I loved this suggestion. I think it was Patricia said these would be great like on a card. So similar to, I made some little journals the other day. I haven't sewn that snippet yet, but where I used some snippet strip on the cover. You could make these and use that like on the cover of a journal, or to just add more texture. So I don't know. I hope this answered your question about, you know, a project. I think that, oh, and then I've backed them. This one's backed pretty nicely, but you can also, you know, back them a little more and use it just as a bookmark, right? And to hold your place in your book or your journal. So just a few ideas. I hope that helps. You could do your orientation instead of vertical, horizontal, and layer them on pages. Of course, these are too long for these pages, but layer them on and have some really interesting pockets. So that would be fun too. I just, you know, I could keep going. I think they're so much fun. So I was thinking, let's set that aside. These are both of these. These two actually have some images from, this was Sylvia's paper kit. And this one, there may be one or two in here from one of her kits, but the colors and everything coordinate really well with that journal. So I'm going to set that aside, and let's just play with the birds for a minute, and maybe a button, maybe use a little bit of this paper to work on a cluster. So these I really like. I may even come back later when I'm ready to use them. You know, you could put hope or peace or just a nice sentiment or word on these. So those I kind of like, just with the lace, the ribbon. This one had vintage sheet music, and I don't remember what the word there was, but then our love. And I thought, well, that's really sweet. So I punched a little heart and did that. These aren't quite finished. I got started. So let's see. This green is almost the right color. Here's one. I think it's about the same. It may just have a little more green than the neutral. So it is literally just paper. And let me think. I'm also thinking it'll be fun for these. There's a little piece of green paper. I'm looking for some different scraps, and I am just rummaging here on my desk, but I was thinking I might write a word if I can find a little piece of like a neutral book page or something. Like this. All right. So, why don't I write, well, I said hope, and I said peace. So we'll do those two for now. I'm going to use my ruler to hopefully get a nice little tear on these. Yeah. when they're so little, sometimes a finger tear makes me a little nervous. I'll do a finger tear there on the end. Okay. And I'm gonna tear this green. I really like that. I'm gonna do these a little scrappier, I believe. La-di-da. Okay, I want maybe even a couple of pieces of this. Again, I think for $1. You guys agree? Tell me what you think. I think I did pretty good for this whole little box for $1. I definitely want the side that doesn't have that white core quite as prominent. Now, I've done some gluing, I've done some stapling. It really just kind of depended on what I was using. And you know what? I better turn my hot glue gun on in case I want to hot glue something. But let's try this. You know what? With this paper, with all those ridges, let's wait on the hot glue. I'm going to just put a touch of ink around here. So I decided we'd stay with our circle theme, but a little more happening perhaps. Yeah, that's fun. And then this one is a very different color with that kind of brighter blue and green, but we'll get him dressed up too. Let's see if there's a button. Look at that one. Woo! It's orange. Okay. I'm definitely going to find something fun to do with that. Oh, look at that heart. Somebody already glued that onto something because it still has the glue on the back, but it's coming off, not a problem. Okay. I always wonder if the buttons could talk, right? What a life they've had. What a life. Ooh, that one's pretty. I love the, it almost looks like mother of pearl shimmery. Somebody probably knows what that is. Is this another heart button? Yeah, look at that. How cute. That one looks almost ceramic. This one's ginormous. I probably need to make some more button cards and sew some of these on. They're so pretty. I am going to, whoa, if I can, just trim a little more of the fabric off, but then leave it so that we have the green thread still sewn on. And hopefully with some hot glue, it'll work well. Okay, let's see if my hot glue is where I need it to be. I was using it earlier, so I was hoping it was going to heat up pretty fast. And I think it will. We'll just give it another minute. All right. So this one is going to have those pieces, this, and probably that little heart. And then this one, I might use this circle I have. It's not very sturdy, so I may punch out a piece of cardstock to mount it on and add another cluster there. Here. This is pink. We'll see how it goes. The font is pink. So we'll see if it works. It just happened to be sitting here. And I was thinking, well, a little bit of font might also be nice. Or I can just make the back. A lot of times I don't ever see the back, depending on how I use the cluster. Or we could do something like this. I don't know. And are any of these little papers, I'm seeing the blue in there. I have to really unwind it to get to it, but look at that. Like I said, this is not my traditional color. that I would use. I'm kind of cringing, but okay, hopefully it's going to work and it'll be okay. I'm going to have to find a way to store these little guys. Okay. I don't know. I got a little excited when I saw the blue. Oh, why not? Live on the edge, Pam. Just live on the edge. I don't really think I need that pink font. I'm just going to use it to make this music sheet not be quite so flimsy. So it seems like lately, I've still been doing a lot of my planned out tutorials and videos and all of that, but I've gotten a little more comfortable, I guess is the word, with doing some crafting on the fly. Letting you guys see what I'm thinking and what's happening. So you'll have to let me know what you think of that. I definitely will continue. I've gotten a lot of, good feedback. Please continue the Wednesday weekly 15-minute craft challenges. I don't even know if it's a challenge. It's more of just a challenge for Pam to see what she can do. This feels much more laid back because I don't have a timer set. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this, or at least the variety, to have a little bit of both. That would be nice to know. Let's see if I can use this word hope. Definitely think that hot glue, I can, when I had my hand near it, not like it's overheated or anything, but I can feel it. So I think I want to put some thread or a string or something on that one. So let's just glue this one together first. I think it's going to be a little bit easier. So get that down. And then let's go ahead and put the piece on my little sweet bird. Yeah, I like that. So we'll put a little bit of hot glue right along there. Yeah, I think the hot glue is a good choice, even though this is paper, because it's got so many ruffly ridges or something. Fun. Put a little extra. Not going anywhere. One thing I don't like about hot glue is all the strings of glue that we end up with, but it's all right. I can get them off of here in a second. All right, some glue on my button. Look at that. Oh, I'm so happy with this one. This is how I end up with just piles and piles of all these wonderful, it's not a problem. I mean, it's a good problem, right? It's a good issue to have. But it's how I end up with all kinds of fun embellishments so that I can have them to craft with. All right, this one says hope. There we go. Hoping, I was really fiddle-faddling with this, and I hope that when I'm just going for it, that I'm gonna like it. There we go. Yep, it's fine. Very different, isn't it? This will probably end up on like a tag or a card or something that I either then just tuck in a journal because it's very different from my normal color palette, or it'll make a great little cluster for a card or something that I give to somebody. So all good, right? It's okay to stretch out of your normal colors. I'm trying to decide. Yeah. I think this is making up my decision for me. I'm just going to use this little piece of twine because it should fit through the holes of this button, and it looks long enough for me to tie a little bow instead of just gluing it on plain. Of course, I said that, and it's wanting to give me a fit, but I have an idea. One end is significantly thinner than the other end. There we go. And we'll just gently tie a little bow. It feels like it's a little fragile, but it's going to be okay. And it's not holding anything together. It's literally just for a decoration. If I can get my fingers to cooperate. It's strange having a Band-Aid on your finger. It just messes everything up. We may have to forgo a little bow. There we go. I think having the twine being, and it's just the way the twine is, thick on one end and thin on the other, I was also struggling to grab a hold of it. Okay. Good enough. And the glue on here should keep this one from untying. I may put a drop of my wet white glue right on top too. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. All right, let me know what you think about the birds. Let me know if that's something you might be interested in, or if you'd rather me make a full kit, or you just want some fussy cuts. I like both when I'm looking at digital kits or paper kits. Sometimes I like having everything that kind of helps me coordinate, and other times I just like some fun, pretty things to put with other things. So there you go. I hope you will again, make some circles and think about how you want to use them in your projects. So anyway, have a great day. Until next time, I'll have another project for you guys real soon. Take care.